Welcome to STL City Showdown. I'm AJ, and this guy over here is Steve.
I'm the better looking one.
Okay, so speaking of which, we are actually going to start with our first game, which is going to be a debate. It's going to be our signature names. It's going to be literally Showdown. To start with, which one's the better looking one? Just kidding. We're not going to do that.
Well, it's not a showdown. It's not a debate. It's this guy. It's fucking guy. It's this guy.
Okay. This is why, I think it was 2 episodes ago, you were covering your face with the hoodie. You did the fans a service here.
You know what? Sometimes you have to make them not see the thing that they want to see the most. And now it's like, oh, he's back. So you know what? You are right, sir. You should give it a try. Maybe do the podcast from under your desk. You have a face for radio, is what the kids say.
Okay, so our first showdown is going to be this. This is a big debate right now on social media. And the question is, was this a good game? Should we be happy about this result, or is this just more the same? So, Steve, which side are you going to take?
No, this wasn't a good game at all. It's not a good game. It's a game. I would not say it's a good game. No. Shouldn't be happy about a draw. Maybe satisfied with a draw because you didn't lose on the road, but it definitely wasn't a good game. I'm going to assume you're going to say it was a good game.
How could you guess? Wow, Steve, that's a great guess.
Because you're wearing the kit. You're wearing that shiny kit. You're a shiny, happy people guy.
Man, that could be a debate in itself, too.
Oh, it's not a debate.
So, let's start with you, Steve. You're going to argue that this was maybe a disappointing game or lackluster game or just not maybe where it should be, maybe even neutral.
I would say that other than our back line, the whole rest of the game, what I kept seeing was the midfield. Durkin seemed to be doing a pretty good job getting the ball. Edelman, by the way, no matter, people say that he's not good. He has too many brain farts or something. I think he's a very young man. I am very impressed. Now, when Leuven comes back, congratulations, you're back in those comfy chairs, but he's more than serviceable. He's got 2 assists this season. Happy with him. But so we cleared out. Cello does an amazing job with his dribbling, does some amazing passing deep crosses, and then nothing. Betcher doesn't know what to do with the ball in the final 18. Nothing was happening. Cordoba is not it. He's not even in the right damn position. It was a disappointing because we don't have a striker. We don't have someone who put the ball into the net. That's his job. So no, I would say it was a disappointing game. The back line played great. Baumgartel had the goal. That was good. I thought that they were solid back there.
Yeah. But would you say that a 1-1 draw on the road is a good thing?
No, it's not a good thing because we didn't win. We're in 14th place. We have 6 points. We have a -4 or 3 differential. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Yeah, but in soccer, usually you want to win at home and you want to tie on the road. Now, obviously, you want to win on the road, of course, right? But you're okay with the draw, right?
So I would be okay with the draw if we had more opportunities. We're not even getting opportunities. So, no. We didn't, so we drew from a losing position, which I would say is better than what we're typically doing. But again, we haven't won on the road in the year 2026. So no, I can't say this is a good game.
So starting this game, if I had said, hey, we would draw this game, would you have been satisfied with that result? So not that we came from behind, if you didn't know about the opportunities, would you have been okay with the draw?
Okay with the draw because we get a point, but not okay because knowing going into it, this is going to be another not win for the season. So no, I would have been satisfied because that's what you sometimes hope for, but I would still say it's not a good game. What about you? Would you have been satisfied if someone told you for sure we're going to come out there with another draw?
I have a little statistic for you. I'm looking at the table as it stands right now, okay? Not where it was when we played these teams, but looking at the position in supporter shield, not the division. Charlotte was 13th, San Diego 10th, Seattle 7th, LAFC 3rd, New England 16th, New York City FC 12th, Dallas 9th. If we average that out, that's a 10th place on the Supporter Shield on average that we played against, which means we played against the top third of the league so far in these first 7 games. So if you ask me on the road against a top third of the Supporter Shield, I would say absolutely, I'm thrilled with this. And this is the exact reason why I would say this was actually a good game. Is it frustrating? Yes. But there's two
Oh my!
there's two big flaws, right? I agree with you on the striker. The other thing is crossing. I'm not trying to help your argument here, but the crossing was atrocious.
It's the right argument.
The crosses was 25%. That's horrible.
My God.
However,
you gonna clear your throat first?
However, by the way, that ref, I absolutely hate this ref. Anybody else?
Did you hate him after he gave us the no call for what might have sort of in another dimension could have been a defensive penalty in the penalty zone? Like,
it never was a penalty.
Wasn't, but do you hate him now? That could have went the other direction.
Knowing him, he probably could have.
But he didn't.
But he did give...
I bet Dallas hates him now, which is, okay, here's the thing, before we go on. Isn't that what a referee should be? Everyone hates him?
Pretty much.
Her. Let's be inclusive here. Everyone hates them. Like, if you love the ref, they probably did some calls in your direction. But if you are agnostic or you hate him and everyone hates them, they probably did a good job.
I could see that argument.
Yeah.
No argument.
I mean, it wasn't that raw job he gave us against Atlanta.
No.
Oh my God.
So about this game, I got more statistics for you, right? 59% possession. Like, we wanted to be a possession team. I would say that if we didn't have possession and we want to be a possession team, that would indicate something's absolutely wrong. We had it, and it looked great, because the other 41% we didn't have possession, a large chunk of that was just like little bits that Dallas didn't really have a lot of control. You know what I mean? Like, there's times where you have possession, but you don't really have possession. That's what Dallas had a lot, except in the last third of the game.
I would say we had the ball for 60 to some point, almost 70% of the game. We came out of there with 1 goal.
I get what you're saying, but I'm still saying that, like, our identity, which is the possession, we still
is that our identity? Wait a minute, this team, you're giving this team an identity? High possession, no scoring team? Great. That's what we are.
Well, there is some truth to that.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say is the question is our offense truly anemic, or is it that we're just playing against the top tier defenses in the league? I mean, like I said, we're playing against the top third of the league. If we were playing on average 15th, so like if we were just playing like a full strength of schedule, like just a normal strength of schedule, would our offense actually be better? Like, we've played a really hard schedule so far.
I would argue, though, should we want to be a playoff team or a non-playoff team?
This team?
Yes.
Okay,
should we want our team to be in the playoffs?
So I'm glad you asked. We were looking at the table before this, and Steve had pointed out that we're currently at 6 points in 15th place, but the 12th place is also with 6 points. 9th place has 9 points, meaning that next week, potentially with a single win, we could theoretically move up into playoff territory.
Right, so but should we want this team to do well against great teams or only well against mediocre to bad teams? Like, we can feast on the Montreals and the Kansas teams all we want, but shouldn't we want to expect wins from the teams San Diego and Dallas and Seattle? Like, shouldn't we not want our team to do very well against those teams as well in New York? Like, yes, we discussed at the beginning of the season that this team was probably going to do horribly against top-tier teams and feast against those poor teams. We haven't feasted against anyone yet, but if we expect our team to be better, we have to beat those teams. Like, we can't go in saying, yes, top 10 teams, but we should beat those top 10 teams if we want to be a top 10 team ourselves.
I think, here's what I think, right? I think if we're being realistic and honest with ourselves, right? Like, at best, we're a mid-tier team. a mid-tier team has to not win against the top teams, but they have to win against the lower half of the teams. And you have to at least try to make it competitive against the better teams. I would not I would not say that we have to win against the good teams. Obviously, I want the team to win against good teams, right? But a mid-tier team, you don't expect to win against the top tier teams,
We
right?
have to win against some of them.
Well, and
right
that's
now,
what I'm saying.
We've won one damn game. One game. That's it. We haven't performed against any team. Got a bunch of draws, bunch of losses, and one win. So we're not even. Yeah, I mean, if we are going to be expecting us to be a 12th through 15th place team, then let's go ahead and just start predicting losses every week and get back into where we were last year, which is probably where we are, but like.
Okay, I got a question
should
for
want
you.
More. Yeah.
I got a question for you. What do you think our ceiling is? Like on the Western Standard standings, like on the table. Be honest, like realistic.
Probably where we are. Where we are, we don't have a striker. We don't really have a lot of identity. I don't think we're higher than a 12th place team right now. I don't see. I mean, we've given up 10 goals now this season or something like that, and we've only scored 6, I think, total. And we've clawed back 2 draws now against high quality teams, unless I don't know where those wins are. That's the thing. That's the thing with this league is you only pick up points by winning. And I don't see us going into Seattle and winning next week. I don't know if we win against San Diego or San Jose at home. So like, where are we picking up these wins in order to climb up? Because right now, 15 points or so is the cutoff right now. And we're at 6. I don't know how we're going to leapfrog all these other teams.
9 points is the 9th place team has 9 points right now. So I see what you're saying. I do, right? Like it makes sense. Like you have to win. And I think the one bonus though is that the strength of schedule should actually flip at some point. I would have to look at the schedule right now, but the first 7 games, it's been a very tough schedule. Now, the thing is at some point, the schedule actually has to favor us, and we're going to be playing more of the bottom feeder teams. And that's our chance to basically pick up steam. You have to. Like, those are definitely going to be the must-win games, to be honest. Like you said, because we can't just count on draws. So, actually, Steve.
I gotta tell you, man. So, let's see. Your theory, we have coming up, we play Seattle. Probably not going to win that one. Then we have San Jose. Probably not going to win that one. We have Austin. Austin is probably not great, but we play it in Austin. We've done pretty well in Austin. So maybe a win there. In Colorado.
Yeah, 23rd.
Nope. LA, absolutely not. DC United, okay. Austin again, maybe then Seattle. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We have 3 games in a row we could probably win. I'll probably pick up 9 points, 6 to 9 points there. Then we play the Galaxy. Probably not winning that because we play in LA. Then Colorado, RSL. And then it's just, we don't have a string at that point where we are playing bottom tier teams again. So because most of our games are in the West. We're at the bottom of the West. So theoretically, everyone else is above us. I really don't see where we have 20 more points in this season. So, the cutoff last year, I think, was 24. We had 24. I think it was like 27 or so, or 30 points. So, like, I don't see how we're a playoff team. I don't see how we're higher up on the table than we were last year at this point. I don't. So, no.
Yeah.
To answer our first question, this was not a good game.
Okay, so let's go to our next game then. We'll let the people listening kind of decide what they think. So our next game is we're going to actually kind of analyze and debate what we think. So this segment's called the stock market. So for people that are familiar with the stock market, if you think a stock or not think a stock, if a stock's going up, it tends to be kind of like a bull market, like if the market's going up, so you're bullish about something. And if the stocks are going down, you're bearish. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of look at different things and say, are we more bullish or bearish about a different topic compared to where we were let's say preseason. So let's go with the obvious one just because it's easy. And I know everybody loves to talk about this. So Simon Betcher, are you bearish or bullish compared to preseason?
Totally bearish. I'd rather his stock is just sank to me. I don't need to see him anymore. Sell him like a penny stock. Get him out.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to say bearish, and I don't really have further comment because I think there's just way too many posts on Reddit and other places that just talk about this ad nauseum.
Yeah,
but
I mean, but he's another one of these players that shouldn't have been put in this position. He should not have to be
correct.
Like I said, we should not have to be on billboards. You should not have to be the face of the club. This should be a guy that is a supporter. He should not be put in the position in which he has to score. Everyone's be talking about him. No.
I got a really good stock for you. You ready? I'm really curious to see what you're going to say. Berkey.
Okay.
Compared to preseason. Oh man, you're going to light a controversy.
Okay. Oh my God. Compared to preseason, I would still say bearish because of the fact he got that huge contract. He was the only kind of guiding light in the season, if you will. And he's been above average. I mean, he's been like the announcers on Apple tonight were glazing him like crazy. He didn't even I don't think he had any big saves today. He's only made a couple this year. So I would still say I'm bearish on Berkey, but it's like a tough bearish because his decision making and his ball control, like that was one the announcers talked about today, is an experienced, high quality goalkeeper like himself makes those decisions that a younger guy won't. Like Chris Brady in Chicago. I've followed Chicago. I love them. And he is a really good goalkeeper, but he is incredibly young and he makes dumb choices. He's going to be in about 3 years. He's going to be one of the best goalkeepers in the league. He just is, but he's not there yet. While Berkey is, but on the stock at the beginning of the season, I'm bearish on him. What about you?
And this is sad, right? Because we spent DP money on Berkey. I know he's kind of heart and soul of the team, but it just feels like something is lacking. To be honest, he doesn't even seem as angry as he does in years past. Like years past, like if something went wrong, he was screaming, yelling at people.
Yep.
I don't know. Like maybe somebody talked to him and said, "Hey, dude, like chill out. Like people are just like frustrated." Maybe he did some reflecting. I don't know. Maybe it's just the coach. There's just something about it that it just seems like he just doesn't have that same kind of fire. I also feel like he's just ever so slightly slower than he was in times previous, right? Yep. Like it just feels like he's just a hair. Now, he does still some great moves and he makes some great decisions sometimes, but it's just that split second difference that can make a difference.
Yeah, we're not seeing the angry Berkey as much, probably because he got paid. Once you get paid, you're not that hungry. He was fired up against the fourth ref tonight, more than it was his defenders. So that's on him. Yeah. All right. So now it's my turn, buddy. I'm the mad money guy now. I'm like writing on my board. I'm like got my pen out and stuff. And I'm like, let's talk about this toy shirt guy. What about him? Where are we at with him? What's your stock option?
Man, so we're talking about preseason. Oh, I would have to say flat because he's about what I expected. I wouldn't say I'm bearish. Like I don't think he's getting worse, but he's also not getting better. So I would just say it's kind of just a stable stock.
It's like it's hold. That's the thing with the stocks. If you don't want to sell or buy, you just hold, and you hold to see if it gets better. That's why you're holding. And I would say just hold because he was hurt most of last season, and we still think he's coming back. But like when he had that breakaway tonight, and of course he kicked it right to the goalkeeper, I texted you and I said, the old toy shirt special where he just cannot score. And that's just kind of what he is. But is it his fault he was brought on like the 77th minute? Like, what are we doing with these? Okay. How about our next one?
Okay.
DeMay. Are you bearish or bullish on DeMay here?
Okay. I'm actually going to say bullish.
Well,
pause for dramatic effect.
I guess a lot of people in 1929 probably thought they were going to be bullish as well. So go ahead.
Okay, here's why, right? Because I think a lot of the problem is I think he's like, look, our defense is pretty solid, right? Our possession's there. But is it really his fault that we have crap options for a striker? Because the thing is realistically, like, let's say Betcher's not in there. As much as I like McSorley and Joyner and these other guys, I just don't think they're ready or they can really put in a full 90. Would I like to see others? Would I like to see Cordova up there as well? But is he really that good as well? I mean, I when he first came over, I was looking to see what others had said about him, and there was somebody from his previous team, Young Boys, I think it was, that said that he had great athleticism, he could do great moves, but he just couldn't finish. He was basically like a Betcher, right? Like Betcher seems like he gets in places sometimes at the right time, but he just couldn't finish, you know? So is Cordova really a better option?
So the GM, sporting director, puts the players there. Yes, maybe Ray needs to do a better job at putting players. But if we know that Cordova was a striker, may not have been the best one, and he's being put in the wrong position, that's not on Ray. That's not on sparkly jacket owner lady. This is on the coach. And if we have a striker that we have on loan that could do the job, but our coach is deciding to not put him in that position, that's on the coach. That is coaching. And I will say I am bearish on him. Yeah,
really?
That's what I'm going to say, because like maybe that's the best Ray could do right now. And why have we not seen him as a striker?
But let's say we still had Klaus here, right? And let's say we had a decent winger for the right wing. So Klaus, Hartel, and a decent right wing. Don't you think that we would actually be rocking it right about now?
I mean, we had Celio, and if we have him out there, or Ostrak when he's healthy, yeah. Well, we should have last year then. But like the coaching was off last year, and maybe when we get better players, but like we've got plenty of pieces here. We should be a better team. So I'm bullish on the guy or bearish just because we haven't seen performance. We have one win. At the end of it, it's the buck falls on the coach. The buck stops right there with him. And if we're not performing, it's got to be on him. If you and I don't do our jobs, we can't keep looking around at other people.
The only reason why I'm saying this is because, like, in sports, just like sports in general, it's usually hard to turn around a team right away. Because the fact is not only do we have a new head coach, but we have a new sporting director as well. But the problem is you have all the players that were from the old system, basically. Now, people are going to argue and say, well, why didn't we bring more people in during the off season? Because it was a winter window. Just isn't. The problem is when you bring people in during the winter window, it always means people are on contract, which means transfer fees, which means a lot of money, right? It's better to get these people during the European off season because then you can avoid some transfer fees and, get people who are free agents. Like there's no free agents really in the winter window.
Yeah, but that's all cool. We have one win.
But do coach you really blame the coach?
The coach has the players. If we're not doing a better job, it's on the coach.
So you're a teacher. So let's say you had a math club or what's that called? Math team or whatever. And you basically had some decent kids that were decent.
Right.
At whatever math teams do, right?
Okay.
But then
answer math.
The high school next door has like some like freaking brainiacs.
Yep.
Mensa level people who are like crunching numbers in their head like crazy. Like, does that make that person a better, math coach just because they have better?
It'd be my job to make sure my players do as best as they can. And I would.
Well, is that what we're seeing now?
I don't think so.
You think these players could do better?
I think they would have to do better unless we have one damn win. We have one win. Okay. Are they not major league players? We have to say that all of these players are on the same field as all the other teams. I would say that we should be doing better. We're not putting AAU players out here against major league players. We're playing major league players from other teams that have major league experience. we should be seeing better. We've already said it. Crap crosses. We're getting out of position on a regular basis, and we're not scoring at all. That's all coaching. If we can't pass, if we're not putting ourselves in a good position, I think the goal that they scored against us now is because our player was out of position. Like, that's coaching. That's coaching, and that is the training staff. That's different. The training staff's different. But if we're not seeing the performance, that's coaching. If the players aren't as good as they can be, that is the sporting director. But
So
if we saw our players out there in exactly where they need to be every single time, and they just obviously weren't as good, then that's the sporting director. But we're not.
I would say, like, tonight, right? Like, I felt like we had a good game plan, right? They put Cordova, who I think is a little taller, who could handle these aerial duels a lot better. And what we were doing a lot is we were doing a lot of long balls to the right wing, and it seemed like it was very effective against Dallas. I feel like they saw something on tape, and they said, hey, because usually we try to progress the ball up, by dribbling, short pass, that sort of thing, right?
Yep.
But this time we were doing a lot of long balls, and it seemed like it was working. Now, of course, we were offsides a lot, but that's part of the nature of some of these long balls, to be honest. But I felt like that was a good coaching move, and I felt like they did unlock a little bit of Dallas's weakness. And in fact, the first half, I felt like we actually, I'll even use the word dominate them. Right now, I do feel like Dallas made a better second half adjustment because that started to disappear pretty quickly. But that's something I think we have to at least consider.
I would also say the announcers tonight made it clear that the Dallas head coach, James Quill, saw that Hartle was just dominating his players on that side of the field, and he shifted his players around the field during a game. They made an in-game decision to move some players around, and it really helped shut down Hartle. I'm not hearing DeMay do those things. I'm not hearing there's a lot of in-game gamesmanship where we're moving players around and we're changing things. It just seems like we're sitting our players out there, we're doing one thing, and then we're done at the end of the game. I am not seeing that tactical stuff out of him.
So my question also is so March Madness, right? I think it was Duke and some number 16 seed. I can't remember their name, but that 16 seed almost beat Duke. But here's the catch. They literally kept the same 5 players out on the court.
Yeah.
And they actually didn't make I don't think they made a substitution until like 2 minutes left of literally the game. And the thing is those 5 players were just drained. The question is everybody's complaining about DeMay and his lack of substitutions. Is this another 16 seed thing where we just literally don't have the players? Are our starting 11 tired better than our bench players?
Well, when we see the kids come on, they make an immediate impact. So no, if our team can't handle more than our B team, if you will, our subs can't handle more than 15 minutes of play, that's coaching. That's immediately coaching. If our players are unable to go out there and play for more than 6 minutes, that's coaching.
Okay, so I think the moral of the story is coaching. All right, you want to do some goal or no goal?
Yeah. Saw some interesting things being said. So actually, what about Edelman? Stock up or down on Edelman?
Oh, I like this one.
I love it.
Okay, I'm actually going to say bullish. And the reason why is I feel like he makes a lot of key plays. I get that he might have some mess ups. I agree. He's, I think, 24. He's still a little on the younger side, right? It would be nice if he was a little bit more consistent, sure. But I will say I'm bullish because I think he's made a lot of impacts and he does provide some good offensive plays. And honestly, out of everybody, I mean, Santos and Vollum, who can't cross to save their lives. I mean, how many times has Santos literally hit it literally twice as hard as it needed to be?
And it just literally 12 rows up.
You know what this reminds me of? It's like a quarterback in the NFL, right? You got this wide open receiver and then the quarterback chucks it and then it's like 10 yards past the receiver and he's wide open for easy walk-in touchdown.
Yep.
That's what it felt like. He was just constantly killing plays. And Vollum, I seriously don't know what's wrong with him. He was a great player last year, and then something just went wrong. Maybe he's just not a right back, to be honest. But anyways, Edelman seems like he's the only one that can make some of these plays. Do you see Santos or Valum doing a pass like that?
No.
To Baumgartel?
He's got, like I said, he's got 2 assists on the season. He's a young kid. Like, of all of our signings during this window, this winter window, he was one that was pretty exciting. Like, he was on the young national team. He's a good player in New York, and now he's here. And I think he's going to be good for quite a while. So I am definitely bullish on him.
I will say I'm a little disappointed because Durkin has actually played really well. Actually, I'll say Durkin. Bullish or bearish?
I would say bullish, only because, one, he's the greatest player we ever had, obviously. But also, he's stepped up with Leuven gone. He has stepped up, and he's been really great. What about you?
Oh, he's playing way better this year than he did last year, to be honest. Like, he's been a highlight and kind of surprised, honestly. And I'm actually going to be disappointed. Like, Leuven obviously is a better player than both Edelman and Durkin, if we're being honest. I know it kills me on the inside.
I don't think we have to be. I think Durkin's the best. I mean, that's just facts.
But I'm actually going to be disappointed because that means probably Edelman's going to sit here, and I've actually enjoyed watching him play. So, yeah.
But it'll also be good to have him learn and have him take time and be a super sub and all this jazz. It'll be good if and when Leuven's able to return.
So my thing is, and this is what frustrates a lot of fans, is that they see their favorite player or a player that's pretty good end up getting relegated to the bench. That's a good thing. That means that whatever that player is that you are a fan of that's going to the bench, there's somebody better. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay.
All right. Goal or no goal? I'll go first.
Yeah.
From Shags Magoo.
Ooh.
Idiot. I'm not going to be mad about the point, but I feel we could have done better. Oh my God. I should have read this before.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I agree. I'm going to say goal in the sense of I'm not mad about the point, and we should have done better, but that does not contradict our showdown when I said that this was a good or pretty decent game for us. It's still not contradicting. Don't give me that look, Steve.
Well, you went down from all of a sudden it's from a good game to a, it was okay. I see you're coming. Yes, come to the dark side. It's delicious.
Oh, what do you say? I'm guessing you're going to say goal.
Yeah, goal, because it's such a milquetoast comment. Yeah, we could have done better. No kidding, genius. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Yeah.
Beef Bologna said, bet you're invisible tonight.
Yeah, isn't that his standard, kind of his stasis now? He's just kind of there. That may have been the game plan. Maybe the game plan was to not have him as important, because we did see more Cordova and more Hartle. So maybe that was the point. Maybe it was to take him out, but then we're just playing on the edges. We're not actually playing down the middle, which kind of would make sense. I wonder what the shots would show, but yeah.
Oh, I'm going to piggyback off of yours, because I seen this, the Shags Magoo, which was, I'm not mad about the point, but I feel like we could have done better. Somebody else basically made a comment and said it was frustrating about making subs in the 80th minute. But then, Sam had said, subs don't always magically make a team better. Goal or no goal?
No, that's a no goal. That's a stupid statement. You should never type again. That's the whole point of subs, is you either are changing the dynamic of the game, changing the pace of the game. It may not make it quote unquote better, but it's changing it where the other team then has to react. I don't know. Maybe as I think about that, maybe maybe he's trying to play like 3D chess where he's waiting to make his substitutions to see what the other team has. So the other team is using their substitutions and then he's putting in. But all we're doing is we're dragging these players out for 80 minutes of a game and we're just exhausted instead of playing our game. I wonder if that is his thing. I wonder if that's what it is, where he's trying to play prevent defense instead of trying to win the match. It's just trying to figure a way to not lose them. What do you think about that? About DeMay? Maybe that's why we're seeing such late subs.
So I think it's a good theory. I just think that he doesn't think that there's better options. I seriously think that he thinks that a tired player is better than what options we have on the bench. I'm not saying that's true, like that I feel and agree with that, but I feel like that's what he's thinking. So
Yeah. I don't think that this is have we seen a coach that has gone for the jugular yet? Have we seen a coach that
No.
was aggressive? Can you imagine what that would be like if we had a coach that went for wins, like aggressively went for wins? Maybe that's not even a thing in the MLS. I don't know, but like this guy clearly just doesn't want to lose. Like subbing with 88 minutes, subbing at the 88th minute. Like, what are we doing? The most that those two kids would have played today, players, with like 8 minutes. Really? We're subbing in at 88 minutes.
So maybe this is another possibility too, right? Like there's different layers about being a coach, right? There's the coach like Ted Lasso, like you had said, who is a great like motivator who gets like the players pumped. There's also a coach who understands the individual player's strengths and weaknesses. There's also a coach who's great at teaching players. There's also a coach who's great at sitting behind the computer, thinking all day, how should we attack this team on Saturday, and coming up with a great game plan. But then there's also the in-game manager who can make split-second decisions, kind of like what you mentioned with Dallas flipping and inverting their wing backs. Same thing here. Like we don't really see a lot of that happening with our coaches because I don't think they're great in-game managers. Same thing you're saying. The problem is if you make subs, it's almost that you're afraid of abandoning and making a change on fly. That's also a possibility too. And I think that's basically reinforcing what you're saying is because you don't know how the dynamic changes and maybe they're just afraid. But then my question is, should you be playing afraid though?
No.
Or maybe should you be relying more on your assisted coaches? Maybe we should bring on a coach, like assistant coach, right? You could still be the head coach, right? But maybe you bring in a guy who's great at in-game managing that can help you out.
Right.
Be like, hey, coach, we should be doing this, something like that. Because I was going to text you Durkin, okay? The dude was gassed. I think it was about the 75th, 80th minute. I was looking at this guy and he's absolutely gassed. But yet, why do we wait until they are absolutely gassed before we even consider subbing these? Like, come on.
That should it's like, oh my God. I think Carnell was the last coach we had that like religiously was subbing in 60, 65th minute. We had players coming in. I mean, once he was fired and Hack started coming in, we were saying the same thing. Like, where's the subs? What are we doing? And of course, Olaf couldn't. Yeah, like 8 games or so. He didn't have time. But then Critchley, same thing, where it's weird sub things. And it's like, I don't know. All right. Cape Killa 91 on the Discord says, hot take. Berkey kept us in that. I think the Blues need to take more notes on how a defense should run. So I guess goal or no goal, the Blues should be looking at City for how to run a defense.
Well, I'm not totally opposed to our defense. Like I'm overall, I would say decent to good, right? Now, part of it is also remember the better offense you have, the less pressure it puts on your defense, right?
Right.
So considering how bad our offense is, our defense is rocking, I'm sorry, but unfortunately Berkey is not quite where he was. I feel like he's kind of a, probably out of MLS, you're probably ranking him 12th through 15th. If I'm being honest, probably closer to 15th. Don't hate me, guys. I know Berkey's kind of the face that people like looking at, but let's just be honest. He's probably somewhere about mid-tier right now. Maybe he's nursing a little injury or something. I don't know. I don't know. What do you say? Goal or no goal?
Statement about Berkey or about what?
Yeah. Do you think Berkey's face is cute?
He's an adorable little guy. He's adorable. I defer to my wife, and she is like, he was hot stuff until he got engaged, and she's like, I don't like that guy no more. So you know what? I am pro Berkey getting engaged. All right. On the Reddits there, Move Man says, if we get Leuven back and plug Toyshirt in for Cordova, we should look better. Our set plays, despite the second chance at our goal, have been weak.
Okay.
That's a goal, right? Like, clearly, duh, we put one of our better players in. Of course, they're going to be better.
No, I'm going to say almost no goal because I only agree with about half of the subs there. So I agree with Leuven. The team's going to be better. But Toychert, okay, we've had him in multiple games so far, and he really didn't have an impact. There was that one game he kind of came in where he was a sub, I think, in like the 70th something minute, and he actually provided some spark. But as players coming on a super sub, you're coming on fresh against opposing 11 who's tired.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really saying, okay, yeah, you're starter material here, right? So I don't think Toychirt's it right now. Like, I thought when he first joined us, remember, with
He was
Hack
great.
and all that, I was like, holy crap, this guy is amazing.
Yeah, because he was.
Yeah. Outside of those like 6-8 weeks, I haven't seen anything from him. So,
yeah, and it's like we keep thinking he's close to being 60 or 90-minute healthy, but like he's just not there. And it could just be like the coach doesn't trust him.
So just a random question, because, a lot of people on Reddit are talking about the Open Cup and starting McSorley and Joyner, which I guarantee the smartest thing for them to do is basically play everybody on the bench, because these guys need minutes. They literally should put no starters out there. No Berkey, no Hartel, literally none of them.
Well, we have a bench of starters. They're just not given the opportunity. Our bench, I like our bench. Like, can you imagine Miggy playing with McNaughton? And like, why have we not seen Fall yet?
Which one?
Mbeke, like our defender. Like we've seen him like maybe once or twice. Like he's not starting either.
So
he doesn't get a chance.
Here's another question for you, and this is speculation on the coach, because I told you about the game time manager. Is he also somebody who's afraid to change the status quo? So here's another example. He starts with his starting 11, and then during the game, he's afraid to make substitutions.
Yep.
Also, he also said that, okay, both of Falls may be better than Roscoe and Polvera. However, he still likes what he's been seeing with these three, and he doesn't see the need to change. My thing is, but are you afraid to change, or are you just truly saying that this is the best because it's gelling together and you don't want to, look a gift horse in the mouth as far as like success? Like, what do you think?
I would argue that it's not gelling together. I've seen these misconnections. The team doesn't really seem like they're gelling. Doesn't really seem like it's natural out there. So if these guys that are starting every week now aren't even connecting like this, let's get these younger players out. We saw McNaughton and McSorley. They seem to just connect. They seem to just know each other. And why not? I am definitely going to watch on Wednesday. I'll probably got to find some on YouTube undead link or something to get there, but that's the way they do it. But I would love to see who actually gets to start and how well they play. Yes, it's going to be against Union Omaha, I think, but like these are still going to be a good game. I would love to see them out there. No, it's FC Tulsa.
FC Tulsa, yeah.
FC
You're
Tulsa.
right.
Tulsa. I think we win this game, and I think our next match will be against Chicago in the U.S. Open Cup. Which, remember, in 23, we played them in the Open Cup on a Wednesday. They beat us on a Wednesday. Then we played them in regular season on that Saturday. I went up there for that game, and we got beat like 3-1. So they beat us twice in 1 week. It was bad.
Okay. So, do you have any other goal or no goals?
I don't. It's just more of the complaining about the coach, complaining about Santos, and being happy with a point, which I get being happy with a point. But you got to remember, last year we had a lot of draws, and it was like we started counting by May, June, how many draws we could have to make the playoffs. And that is not a winning way to think. Not a
So
winning
my
way
question,
to think.
so the summer transfer window basically hits, it's late July /August, right? And the season ends at the end of October or mid-October, something like that. So part of me at first was thinking, do we just try to maintain being close to ninth place, like close to playoff line, at least within, you know, a
That would
stone's
be a
throw?
dream if we could be
But
at 10th place or so.
here's my question is like, let's say the first week of August, we get a new striker and a new right winger.
Yum.
Okay. But the problem is it seems like, and I don't understand this part. Why is it that they take forever to get over here? Like, it seems like they take like 2 months to get over here. Then they got to start training with the team, learning the team. And then it's like 4 months before they even start, it feels like.
I would argue that if we get a DP level striker, they will be okay. They will be okay, and it may not be perfect, but we get 5-6 goals or something. Yay, we're scoring again. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But are we a playoff team? I don't think we're a playoff team, and that's okay. I just want to finish higher than 14th. That would be great if we can finish. If we make an improvement to last year, I said at the beginning of the year before the season started, as long as we make an improvement, I think it'll be okay if we miss the playoffs again, as long as we
Okay.
can see that there's something.
I think we are a 9th to 11th place team. Now, I think when we did our preseason predictions, I think I predicted 8th. Right now, if I had to repredict, I think 9th to 11th. So if you made me guess, I'd probably have to say 10th place right
Yeah.
now. But that's still really, really close to the playoff line.
Which I think that's your prediction is very bold, but I don't see how. Like, there's a lot of if thens. There's a lot of like filling in gaps in order for this current team to get to a playoff spot.
So let me ask you a question. I'm kind of wondering about this too, because the sprint season is coming up, which is basically 14 games instead of the usual 34, right? So the question I have is, I wonder if Ray and DeMay and what's his face, the president of operations, why am I blanking on his name? Is there a chance, Diego, yeah. Is there a chance that they just kind of said, use this season as a training season,
Of course there
then
is.
use the sprint season as almost like a refinement season? And then are they actually trying to compete in the season after the sprint season?
But
Do
if
you know
they
what I
were to
mean?
come out and say that or slip, they deserve to have rotten fruit thrown at them.
I agree. But do you think
That's
that's what's
awful.
happening?
I hope not. I mean, I if the players are even okay with that, they should walk off the team. They should walk off the team. Just if someone's telling them this season, don't worry about it, guys. Like, don't play hard. Don't worry about it. We're just getting ready for the next couple seasons, because that's a waste of us. That's a waste of season. God.
I don't think you would ever tell the players, but I just wonder.
Ooh, then it's a conspiracy at the top.
Of
Like,
course,
we're not even putting the best players we can because we want it to just be
No.
a training.
I don't think they're not trying to not get good players, but I think they realize that they probably couldn't get good players until the summer window. I
They
guess
let
what I'm trying to say.
they let our DP striker leave. They traded him
Well,
because they didn't
'cause
want to
Diego's
win.
an idiot.
Well, because they didn't want to. I mean,
Hmm.
there's some maliciousness in there as well. If we're gonna go that route.
Wow, we are like devolving pretty quick here.
Yeah, just like the team. Well, you know what? We didn't lose tonight. We didn't lose, so I think that is a positive that we can end on.
I would say that. I'll be honest. Here's the biggest question: were you at least reasonably entertained? Like, there were some games last year that it was literally a chore to watch. Were you entertained?
This game wasn't as a drag as even last week's against New York. Last week against New York, if they didn't have a brain fart at the very end of that game and allow McSorley to do that header, that would have been an insufferable game. It really was. It was from start to finish. That was a horrible match. I knew that this game probably wouldn't be as bad. So no, I would not say this was a horrible game to watch. I don't know if I was I guess I don't know how many shots we have. I don't think I was fully entertained. There was plenty of times where I was checking stats during plays. that I was waiting for the announcer to have his voice get a little higher for me to cue in that I should pay attention. So no, I would not say I was fully entertained in this match.
I'll say I was reasonable entertained. Like, I've had much more entertaining games. I will say Carnell at least had entertaining games. I'll say, what's his face from last year?
Olaf? Or Critchley?
Critchley.
Well, because we were scoring with Critchley. We were averaging 2 goals a game with Critchley. That was entertaining. Yeah. We didn't lose. We didn't win a lot of those games, but man.
Ooh, I got one for you. Do you miss Critch? So right now, magic wand, right? If you could have your wish, would you rather stay with DeMay or poof, Critch is now the head coach?
City 2 is in first place, so Critch. I want Critch back. Bring my Critch up here again. Like, whatever that kid's doing.
Because we were saying no Critch.
Yep.
Like, get experienced coach, get someone who has MLS experience. And of course, we got a guy with no head coaching experience.
Oh my God. City 2 has scored 16 goals this season.
Oof.
That's nuts.
Okay. All right, Steve, I can't do this anymore. I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Okay. You have to. Okay. So find something in your house to shake. Shake that thing. Don't shake a baby. That's illegal. Shake a plant. Shake a soda. Shake it really hard. Stand on top and go, all for City, baby. And then sit down because you just caused a commotion in your house.